Hello boys and girls, welcome to BenchART. I'm for Classic, and for today what I do have needed is Life is Strange True Colors, a game developed this time by Deck 9, and it is using Unreal Engine 4. And my objective it was to try the game on the Intel UHD 620 and see how it goes. So let's start first with the settings. So yeah, we are playing at 720p and I'm using the low presets, which is in fact the lowest settings possible. So I'm using the resolution scaling to 70%, the anti-aliasing it is set to high because it is the minimum you can go for, and 70% of resolution scaling it is also the minimum you can go for. This unfortunately doesn't provide you a stable frame rate. Unfortunately, what you can expect it is an average of 26 and a minimum of 17. So pretty much the game doesn't drop from the 20 frames per second. I mean, it did drop 5% of the time. And if you want to target 30 frames per second, the bad news is that 82% of the time the game will be under than 30, and pretty much half of the time it will be under than 25 frames per second. So this is quite unfortunate, and let alone those issues, there is also visual corruption. As you can see here on the grass, there is some sort of shadow issue going on. I'm expecting Intel to fix this with newer drivers. I'm using the latest ones by the time of this video. And I do recommend you to have 16 gigs of RAM in dual channel in case you want to run this game properly. But I'm really hoping that the Intel drivers might fix this flickering that it is happening in the shadows, in the grass. So let's hope for that. As for the frame rate, yes, it's really bad. Most of your frame rate will be again under than 30 frames per second. Your experience it will be overall between the 20 to 25, which is really bad. But just like the latest game that I have tested, like Life is Strange, it is a story-driven game, so you are not about to kill anyone. At least I hope so. With a pistol where you need to aim, or a bow, or something like that where you need to point and shoot. No, this is a story-driven game. You will be taking decisions and walk around, investigate objects, and just roam around the world. It's probably the only thing that you will be doing around in this game. So despite it feels bad to play under than 30 and even worse under than 25, it feels bad, but it's not going to prevent you from enjoying the game, having a good time on it, and finishing it. All right, now for me it's a bigger issue, the visual corruption with the graphics, the flickering of the shadows. For me that's a bigger issue because it's quite distracting than, well, the frame rate. All right, so I think that's all that I want to talk about the performance. I think it's time that we talk a little bit about Life is Strange True Colors. So what is this new game about? So in this Life is Strange True Colors, you kind of take control of this character called Alex, which is a, well, very sweet girl in fact. But just like every Life is Strange, she have supernatural power. Which in case of Alex, she can perceive kind of big emotions from other characters, and they can still be stuck in items and stuff like that. So it's like she have the ability to read the minds of other characters, but it's not just that, because every time if you read the mind of other character or something, if the other character is pissed, your character will also absorb that feeling into her, and she starts to feel bad about it, and probably she starts to be pissed or something. So it's not as trivial as just reading the minds of other characters. You need to be careful with yourself because you will be absorbing all the other feelings of the characters. At least it was what I did understand. I barely played the game, but I have seen some reviews about it, and they talked about that. And in fact, the reviews have been pretty good for this game. I mean, the best scored Life is Strange until now, it was the first one, developed by Dontnod. And actually, now with the release of the True Colors, it is now the best scored Life is Strange. So it's, according until now, Life is Strange True Colors, it is the best Life is Strange. And according again to some reviews, at least in this game specifically, your choices matter much more than in previous titles right now. So that's a good thing, because despite I love the first Life is Strange, I have a feeling, I had a feeling that most of my choices didn't really matter. Alright, the ending, you just have like two possibilities, but still, during the entire game, I didn't notice too much of a change, alright, in the story, just because I selected some stuff. Yes, there were meaningful decisions that I took in the first game that did impact, but most of them didn't really impact the game. And according to reviews, at least on this game, on Life is Strange True Colors, most of your decisions have an impact inside the game, which is actually pretty good. Also, the game packs multiple finales, multiple endings, and not all of the endings are good, of course. And in fact, according to some reviews, again, there is no really a true good ending about it. I'm not saying that the game is going to end bad or something. I'm just saying that there is not a good ending or a bad ending. All the endings are simply different, alright? So, yeah, there's that. I'm not really too much of a reviewer, but I would like just to give these words for you to have an idea what you can expect from this Life is Strange regarding the story and what is different from the others. And it's quite interesting because I always consider Deck 9 as kind of a weak developer for Life is Strange, and now they have actually done a very good job. And one of the things that I want to point out immediately as soon as I started this game is that technology is here. The motion capture, whatever they have done it to animate the facial animations and the body and stuff like that, it's really a step forward comparing to previous Life is Strange. It's way so much better. The facial animations are just really great compared to the other titles, and it's awesome to see that being evolved in a game like this, because it's actually very important for the story-driven game. So it's night and day comparing to the predecessors. And also the game should take you about 14 to 15 hours to finish, again according to many reviewers. So the price, well, that's where the issue starts. The game, it is being sold as full price. So on Steam it is $59.99, and there is a deluxe edition which costs you around $69.33 at the time of this video. So it's super expensive. So what does this deluxe edition brings? This is what kills me entirely. The deluxe edition brings you one thing, which is wavelengths, which is incredibly new content for the game, that, as it says on Steam, step into staff booth as the all new radio show host for KRCT, Heaven's Best and only radio station over 4 seasons. Discover more about Steph's past and their relationship as she makes her mark on the record store, uncover its secrets and decides her future. So it seems that this is more gameplay inside the DLC at launch. So this doesn't make any sense. DLCs, in my opinion, should be something that should be delivered after the game release. The way that it is happening at the moment, it seems like they cut this from the main game just to sell it as a DLC to increase the price of the game. The game, it is already expensive in my opinion, and having this separated DLC increasing the price of the game, it doesn't make any sense to me. Still, I'm not judging that this game doesn't deserve the money or not. I mean, it's a 15-hour game, and there is clearly a big evolution compared to the predecessors. And again, the reviewers are saying that this is a better game than the predecessors, but still asking for a full price and yet cutting content out of the game to sell it as a DLC. Well, that's just sad, in my opinion. But still, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will get this game. Alright, so I guess that's it, guys. Thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Perfect.
That guy's bad to the gnome.
Right? I heard he won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh God, please stop.
No problem.
The tiny house movement is really taking off. I hope Charlotte likes the lilies. Aw, I wonder who they are.
Cute, right?
Yeah. Are those your grandparents?
No, but they were like family. Alistair and Ava Murphy. Nana bought the building from them before I was born.
What if I don't get in? Shit. What if I do get in? Am I really ready to leave this place? If Riley's so anxious about leaving this town, I guess it can't be too bad. Hopefully my advice doesn't derail her entire life. I'm sure it's fine.
Ready.
Thanks. See you soon, Rye.
How long have you and Charlotte been dating?
About 3 years now, I think.
You must spend a lot of money on bouquets.
She's worth it.
Watch your feet now. It's getting windy. My feet are fine.
Well, here we are.
I bet Gabe keeps the flower shop in business all by himself.
Step 1, patch things up with Charlotte. And step 2, Alex and Charlotte become best friends and everyone's happy forever.
Gabe's pretty.
Gabe Chen.
Flower delivery man.
I know, right? Let me duck in here and smooth everything out. It'll only be a minute. I'll introduce you properly later. Once,
It's no problem, really.
It's gonna be longer than a minute. Trust me.